Okay, so listen. MGK was on the Breakfast Club, and I was with him for a minute. I really was. I was right there with him. I was like, yeah, you know, he's speaking his truth. Then something happened. Conversation comes up about his drug use. I'm gonna let you guys hear what I heard. Shout out to the Breakfast Club, because this is, of course, their audio. But I want you to listen to this.
Have you slowed down the drug use?
Absolutely not.
It's called binge.
It's called binge.
Doesn't sound like it.
I said, but to be honest, you know, the truth of the matter that might have come with explaining this EP, outside of the fact that there's angst, attitude, you know, sex, drugs, and 808s, like, other than the obvious, the breakdowns I'd like to give, I'm not going to give out of respect for Mac.
And I was going to say that with Mac passing.
Yeah, I mean, I got to tell my truth.
You take it serious now, like, you know, because you never know.
Oh, my drug use?
Yeah.
Me, it's, I don't know. It's I don't know. I mean, you know, look, if I would have, if it was gonna be a lesson learned, I might have learned it when it happened to Pete. You know what I'm saying? There's the.
Have you slowed down with your drug habit? No. I don't want to talk about it out of respect for Matt. So what are you going to do about your drug habit? One of the longest pause in history, in my opinion. If I had the chance to learn something, it would have been learned after Lil Pete died. There's more. And there's more, and I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all hear the rest of this. Come back with the rest of my commentary, because you know what what else is there? So just hold that thought.
The reality of situations is you can't, as a world, expect to break people down constantly and not expect them to want some type of escape. All right, I don't have a mom I can call. I don't have a father I can call.
So now he goes and tell everybody that basically you cannot expect for people not to have an escape. I get that. You know everybody needs their escape. I get that. But you just watch not one, two hip-hop artists die of drug overdoses, and this is the outcome. You still have not learned your lesson? Okay, hold on. We're gonna go back and finish this.
I don't have my, you know what I'm saying? Like my aunt, who was the last thing that I had, is gone. Right, I got a 9-year-old. I call and confide all my things. When Chester Bennington died, in that tour, that was, you know what I'm saying, a beautiful light in my life, like a soul that I love, in a tour that, after the most successful album we had come out, was about to change our lives, and all that was I put that on a 9-year-old. Do you know what I'm saying?
Why you not go?
So now we have you say, not only do you put yourself in a situation where it could cause you harm, but you are openly admitting to the fact that you have burdened your 9-year-old child. You've burdened her with this. Okay, we're not done.
Go to a therapist.
You weren't taught. In the streets, you weren't taught that that's okay.
Yeah, neither was I. But eventually,
I get it. I haven't made that. You know what? I've been trying to fight to get back all the things that were lost when I had a #1 single on the pop. I'm not talking about #1 on iTunes like Rap Della is for the past 8 days. I'm talking about a #1 charting Billboard song that sold how many worldwide? 7 to 8 million, 6, 7 million. worldwide in 1 year, and like it was that moment. There is no question when I win a Grammy or when I win a VMA that no one's gonna. There is no tweets that are like, he doesn't deserve. There is none of that.
He's totally strayed from the question now. He is totally gone left. Question is still on the right. Okay? He's totally gone to the left with this. Like, I can't.
There is no there's nothing other. I can't see anyone doing other than this, standing up and being like, damn, homie, it's been a long time coming. And, I think
I hear what you're saying, but none of that is an excuse. And the reason I say that is because smart people learn from their own mistakes. Wise people learn from their mistakes.
The whole thing was to say, I'm sorry it was long, the whole thing was to say, sometimes comfort from humans isn't enough.
But you don't want to turn to drugs, especially when you see how I'm not because of drug use.
And what about people around you? Nobody around you is like,
absolutely, it's a huge issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I talk about that on the record. There's a song called Lately. I talk about that. We got in a huge fight in the Chicago airport. Huge fight. And it was all over. Yes, huge.
And they should.
There's no yes man on my team. There's none of that.
Because they care about you.
Huge fight. I'm talking about to the point where it's like we're physically brawling with each other over the temper that comes from using drugs. I know everything that comes. I almost was mad.
Mm-hmm. And you still could be if you don't slow down.
And that's fine, but like
that's not fine.
No, excuse me, that's not fine. Excuse me.
And you can't tell me you're a fighter, but not willing to fight your addiction, especially being that you got a 9-year-old.
And especially you can talk to your 9-year-old, because that should be the reason.
Why go to therapy when I got let's do this?
I mean, we
and
try to help
sometimes
you.
things like drugs do contribute, like you said, to your temper, to mood swings, to depression.
I applaud the Breakfast Club because y'all really did show some heart and some compassion for the situation. I got a message for this man. I was his 9-year-old daughter 20 years ago, except it was my daddy in the picture. Let me tell you something. She will remember everything that's going on. Every small, itsy bitsy thing, like, yes, the calls about what's going on in your life. You should never, first of all, put that burden on a 9-year-old child. You should never put that burden on any child, period. That's not their burden to carry. That is yours. If you want to destroy your life, that is your problem. I listened to this interview, and I started to get sad. Like, I started to get so sad because hip hop is supposed to be something that is so moving, so touching, so free. It gives you a sense of freedom. But there's so many people. I just had to go back and do some research. There's so many people who have lost their lives. I'm talking musical genius people who've lost their lives because they had a battle with addiction and they refused to get real help. So, I was going through and I was like, look at all the people, I'm just name a few, who died from addiction, right? Yeah, Whitney Houston, Mac Miller, Jimi Hendrix, one of the most amazing musical genius known to man, died of an overdose. Amy Winehouse, another musical genius, died of an overdose. Jim Morrison, Lil Peep, Chris Kelly from Criss Cross. Everybody know who Chris Kelly is. Y'all know y'all love some Criss Cross. Make it jump. These people died. Now let's look at some artists who almost made it to death but bounced back. You got people like Ray Charles, musical genius, almost lost everything in his life because of drugs. You have Etta James, Elton John, Keith Richards, Ozzy Osbourne. All these people, musical geniuses, could have lost everything to drugs and almost did. This man has 2 people in his life that were very close to him. He's willing to risk it all for what? A high that you can't come down from? That eventually is going to end your life? I'm really tired of losing so many musical geniuses, so many good artists to something like drugs. Like, and they're not, like, we're not talking like, oh, I smoked a blunt yesterday. I'm talking sniffing, smoking, heroin stuff. I'm I'm talking to all that stuff. Huffing, pill popping, the opioid crisis. I'm sorry, y'all. The opioid crisis is running rampant around here. Popping pills, popping other things, Molly and all this other stuff. Like, you're destroying your whole system. And part of this interview, he actually said that he finished Rap Devil in 4 hours. That includes writing, laying you on a track, and doing the video in 4 hours. And he said the only thing kept him going was an Adderall. Yo, that's not cool. Like, that's not cool. Your words may touch somebody, your experiences may touch somebody, but the real thing that's going to touch children is when they hear the record about how you got over it. Not about you doing it. That stuff is not, it's not, excuse me, it's not worth your career. It's not worth you sitting in you're sitting in a damn studio discussing your drug habit and mentioning your child in the same breath. When does it end? Like, when does it end? Like, when do we stop letting these things happen? When do we let those things go? Like, when is enough enough? Like, if I have any message for this man, like, don't do this to your kid. Don't do this shit to your kid. People want to get on my case or tell me mind my business. That's fine. But like I said, I was his daughter 20 years ago. And for y'all who can't do math, that means I was 9 years old 20 years ago. Finding out things about my father, like this situation. It's a painful situation. Kids will always remember. Yo, if I don't know you, sir, I don't know you from a can of paint, but I can tell you one thing. I know how she must feel. I know that feeling. And in case you don't know, I'm going to tell you, she feels it 10 times worse than what you're feeling. Because as a kid, looking at my dad, not knowing what was going on with him, the pain is real and is deep-rooted. Like, you cannot put that on a 9-year-old child. I thank God every day that my dad got help. And he's a better person now than he was then. Because let me tell you, at times it was not always easy. And I know it's not easy to get off MJK, I know it's not easy to do that. I've seen it. I've been that child looking at my dad like, when are you going to get better? Do not put your child through what so many other people do on a regular basis. The part that kills me is you have the resources to take your ass somewhere to get fucking help. You have the resources. You have the resources. You have the time. You have enough to put yourself in a situation to get better. You have that. There are so many people on the streets now laid out who don't have that option. So the sad part about it is you have what you need to make a difference, yet you're standing in your own way and not making it happen. Come on, man. I just read down a list of people who have died from this mess. Stop letting hip-hop be a